It's the Shatkin First Down Pregame Show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associate Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, and our special guest. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show. I'm Rich Gaenzler with Dr. Jared Shatkin for another week, and unfortunately under not great circumstances after the Monday night loss to the Jets. And we're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about the Raiders. We'll have the Mafia in, do some trivia as well. But man, before we even get into the game itself, like going into it, it felt like the Super Bowl to me. I mean, all the hype. It's New York City, the hype machine that is the NFL and New York City together with Aaron Rodgers and a new number with those Jet uniforms that, for me, being an old guy, I loved because it brought me back to like Richard Todd, cool. Freeman McNeil, Wesley Walker, even Ken O'Brien. We used to beat him up. That was fun. But yeah, what was it like for you going into that game? How nervous were you going into it?
I was pretty nervous about having Aaron Rodgers in there. But then he gets hurt, and you see Zach Wilson get in there, and I don't even think he deserves to wear those cool uniforms, you know, and be on the field like that. But he ended up having a pretty good game. But I was definitely more nervous going into that game than I was probably for even the first playoff game last year. Yeah. I'll put it that way. Yeah.
I felt bad for the Jets fans. I think everybody probably did, right? Yeah. And Rodgers is what he is, four-time MVP. He's going to go in the Hall of Fame, first ballot, obviously. But I selfishly felt bad because I just wanted to see what team the Bills were. And if coming off last year, knowing how good the Jets defense was, how good that offense would be now with Rodgers and with some of his Packer buddies and with Breece Hall back and the addition of Dalvin Cook. And we didn't get to see that. So that kind of bummed me out a little bit.
Yeah, it also felt like it probably would have been a different game on both sides. We probably wouldn't have called the game quite as conservative. We may have. And, yeah, it was kind of sad to see him go that early. And I still feel bad for Jets fans. I mean, they won that game, and that was awesome for them. Hooray. But now, like, what does their season really look like after that?
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's talk about the game. Josh is now 0-5 in overtime games. I think that's an interesting stat that people should remember. But hero ball, you love that phrase when it comes to Josh. He's done it pretty much his entire career. Mm-hmm. It's good with the bad. I mean, what do you make of his performance?
This week is probably the first week I'm going to say I have some concern the way Josh is starting to play. Because if you look back at his stats from last year, he's had 20 interceptions since week 1 of last season. And yeah, I guess turnovers are now one of those stats that you look at with DVOA, and it's not supposed to be as big of a deal. But he gave that game away when there were plays to be made. And I think there's some games that he can still give away. He needs to really clean it up, and he needs to start taking those easy checkdowns a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say, look, on the first interception, there was so, I mean, we talk about, hey, Josh, don't run so much. But on that first interception, he had the entire left side of the formation, pretty much from the hash to the sideline, wide open to run for a first down, and he didn't.
It almost seemed like he had as much room to run as he did throwing it to Hardy there. He seemed like he could have broke a 50-yard run there. Maybe the team is really starting to get in his head about the running, but then why did you jump over somebody on 3rd and 10 or whatever he was doing? There was just, it seemed like it was freshman year, Josh Allen at Wyoming playing on the scout team, just kind of being really careless with the ball.
Do you cut him a break, though? I know it's been said many times on the throw to Davis that Davis really didn't sell the in route. That it was actually an easy jump for Whitehead to make that pick to jump that route because Davis really didn't sell the inside move. Do you agree with that?
Sure, but if you look at the All-22 and you look at and see Stephon Diggs wide open for a first down on 3rd and 2. So why are we taking that when your first receiver is Diggs and that route was there? So you can say what you want about the route, and yeah, I think Gabe Davis definitely should have sold that route more, and that's cover 2, and you can make that whole throw, and he's done it many times in his career. But it's just a risky throw in that situation when you could just take what the defense is giving you.
Yeah, for sure. And look, no deep ball. The only deep balls that were thrown in that game were the interceptions, which to me was shocking. I mean, that's been one of the things the Bills have been good at over the years, taking some shots downfield, and they were terrible, 20-plus yards downfield. They were brutal.
Yeah, well, and this Jets defense is really good against the pass and really good against the run, and they got a great pass rush. This is one of the better defenses we'll see all year. So maybe the deep ball just wasn't there yesterday.
Yeah, give the Jets credit, like you did. I mean, the Williams brothers were phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, we knew about Quinn and Williams going in, and he had all kinds of insane play at the line of scrimmage forcing pressure, but his brother was also equally terrific.
Oh, yeah, his brother had a phenomenal game. The linebackers had a great game. Mosley did. Whitehead had 3 picks. That's what's going on there. When Sauce Gardner gets 65 yards on him, but Whitehead gets 3 interceptions. But that defense is deep and it's stacked, and they are what they are, but there were still plays to be made.
Yeah, for sure. Good play. Milano, again, all world. He was phenomenal in that game.
Oh, Milano was awesome. Milano was great. That interception was a great play, very instinctive. He had a sack.
The play on the run blitz was incredible.
Our defense I don't think was a problem yesterday. I really don't. You're playing against Zach Wilson, so you don't really see as much of the defense. But besides a couple big runs, I think they were pretty stout. And I think Matt Milano was the anchor to that defense yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned the big runs. The big runs, what happened? Your middle linebacker got swallowed up, right? Bernard, in my opinion, was exposed on both those long runs.
Right, and I think you can almost blame the offseason on that a little bit, because when you don't do anything at middle linebacker, we're putting a guy who's
got no preseason snaps.
Rookie,
yeah,
no experience. He's just an athletic guy out of Baylor. All you really know is his college career, and you're putting him in a huge spotlight right away. Maybe he can grow from this, but he did get swallowed up a lot in the run game and looked like he was a little bit undersized yesterday.
Bills recover from this?
Yeah. I think we do. I think we recover pretty well. I think you kind of need a wake-up call, and I think it's better that it happens right now than at the end of the season.
Yeah, they talk about one game at a time, no question about it. Now it's the Raiders. That short memory they talk about, just watch film and get over it and move on, because they have to, and especially Josh. And Josh has to have that somebody to lean on to get him through it too, especially in the mental game, right?
Right, yeah. I think he can get over it. He's a pretty strong guy mentally, but I think there has to be some sort of change and some sort of light bulb that goes on that says, I can't do what I'm doing with these turnovers anymore if we want to win this game.
Yeah, I hate the blank stares from Josh Allen in post-game pressers after they lose. It's almost disturbing to see. I don't want to see any more of that.
Yeah, he's a golden retriever. You're supposed to be happy, Josh.
That's right. We want happy Josh, for sure. All right, so we've talked about this. As painful as it was to come out of that game with a loss, knowing Aaron Rodgers had only played 4 plays, and there it is, Zach Wilson and a special teams touchdown, which is rare anywhere in the NFL, happens. Now we're going to move on to the Raiders. We'll do that in the final segment. But a special Bills guest is coming up. Plus, we'll get to the Mafia as well. Stay right here. This is the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
It's apple picking time. When was the last time you bit into an apple? With affordable Shatkin Mini Dental Implants, you can. Stabilize your dentures and replace missing teeth in as little as 1 visit. You can be you again, only better. Call the Aesthetic Associates Center today at 716-839-1700 for your free consultation.
All right, here we go in the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show. Rich Gaenzler with an old buddy. Haven't seen him in a bit, but he's very active still on social media and with his pen to paper, I think, or perhaps typewriter. No, I think you've graduated probably to a computer keyboard, maybe even a tablet, Scott Petoniak. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I not gone to the tablet yet, but a keyboard, yes, and a computer, a laptop. That's what I use.
Awesome. Scott is an established, decorated writer, 100 Journalism Plus awards, written a bunch of books as well. And of course, you have the new book, If These Walls Could Talk, with play-by-play man John Murphy, who of course I worked with for years. First, though, Monday was pretty ugly, but you think Josh shouldn't be down on himself?
Oh, he should be down on himself for that performance, but I still think that he's your best shot. There's no question about it. He's in a funk. And you can argue that the funk goes back to last season. And I think we saw some old Josh tendencies of, the hero ball, which I equated to can result in zero ball. But I think he was really so hyped up and wanted so badly, to come out with this enormous performance. And, it was one of those cases, Bull, where I think you just need to get the job done. You just need to get out of town with a W. And obviously what made it even more painful is that 4 snaps into the game from the Jets' perspective, their star is out, and now you got, Zach Wilson, and you should be able to beat him any day of the week. And so I just think he just forced the issue, and that was unfortunate, but I would be shocked if he does not bounce back with a tremendous performance, and if the whole team doesn't.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And sadly, it's not Josh Allen against Zach Wilson. I mean, if it was man on man, he's winning every day, all day, 10 out of 10 meetings. Maybe Zach Wilson gets one in, but it wasn't that way. And to that point, you have to give some credit to the Jet defense, who played the Bills terrifically even a year ago.
Yeah, without question. And that's the other thing. If you're looking for another positive from the Bills' perspective, you're not playing the Jets' defense every week. It has been, at least for the last 3 or 4 games, a bad matchup for the Bills. And, and athletes and teams have bad matchups, teams that just, get them out of kilter. And I think that, the Jets are certainly that. The Jets' defense is certainly that so far in recent years for Josh Allen. So, yeah, I mean, the Jets have an extraordinary front, and they have what the Bills hope to have, and that is like to be able to put pressure on the quarterback with just your front guys.
All right, let's get to the book. How did this particular book come about? Was it you going to Murph going to you, somebody getting the two of you together? How'd it work out?
Murph and I go back a long, long way. Like, he became the color guy for Van Miller back in 1984. And so I've known Murph for a long time. We've been friends for a long time. So I was approached by Triumph. They have this series called These Walls Can Talk. And they said, like, who would be a good guy? Well, I think John Murphy would be great. I mean, because you talk about the breadth of history that he has seen, and also the credibility that he has, first as Van Miller's sidekick, and then, as Van Miller's success. There's a lot of getting into what, him growing up in Lockport and listening to Van as a kid, and then just kind of falling into this career as a broadcaster and bringing that Buffalo sentiment, mentality, chip on the shoulder, understanding to his broadcasts. So one, story we knew about, like, when Ronnie Harmon drops that ball, he short arms it in the end zone there. They could have beaten, the Cleveland Browns in that famous playoff game in during the '89 season, the Pickering Bill season. Well, on the plane ride back, Murph and Van are sitting usually in the back of the plane, and he told me that Bill Polian would do this regardless, win or lose. Like, he would go up and down the aisle of the plane, and he would stop at each seat or whatever, usually, or, most seats, and he might say something to a player or a coach or whatever, and how are you doing, and he would come back to Van and Murph and say, like, how was your broadcast and stuff like that. Well, they see him coming down this time after that game, right? And it's a short flight, obviously from Cleveland back to Buffalo, and they could see he is just like almost beat red. And you're always concerned, like, was it something we said on the broadcast and somebody told Bill about it or whatever? I mean, he's just looking like he's loaded for bear here. So he comes back, and again, he's beat red, veins are bulging, and he leans over to Murph and Van, and he just says in a quiet voice, he goes, that SOB will never drop another pass for the Buffalo Bills.
I know that, you've been in touch with Murph, obviously. Just kind of update us, how Murph's doing.
He's made tremendous strides. He's doing very, very well. He's dropped 75 pounds, and he's still got his trademark sense of humor. He joked to me, he goes, it's not the diet plan I would recommend to go through. Use of his hands, everything's come back. He's worked really hard at all sorts of therapy and rehab. It's the speech. He's understandable and can carry on the conversation. It's just not what we would call radio ready. He's also been inspired and encouraged by what DeMar has done and how far back he's come.
All right, Scott, thanks so much. It's Scott Petoniak. If These Walls Could Talk. Check it out. Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Bill Store at Highmark, and more. All right, coming up next, we'll get into the Mafia. We'll break down the Bills and Raiders as well when we come back on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin, the clinical director here at the new Shatkin Dental Health Postgraduate Dental Residency Program. For years, I've felt there's been a need to help those patients who just can't afford quality care but want to be treated in a private dental office setting. Shatkin Dental Health will save you 20 to 30% on the procedures you need without compromising the care you deserve.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile and receive a dental cleaning and x-rays for only $43. And as always, consultations are free.
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
All right, back in the pocket with Western New York's very own Sam Castronova from the National Arena League and the Jacksonville Sharks, this past year's MVP. Let's talk a little bit about Jimmy Garoppolo. You know, we were talking a little bit about how if you were, a practice squad guy and had to be Jimmy Garoppolo, think about it. What do you think you'd look like as Jimmy Garoppolo? And then flip it over in terms of how would you defend Jimmy Garoppolo?
I think Jimmy does a good job of throwing on time, and he's very accurate. And I don't know if he gets enough credit because he makes plays in the pocket where he just buys himself that little bit of extra time. Where he learned from one of the greatest ever, Tom Brady, to do that. He's accurate and he makes quick decisions. Now, if I had to defend him, I would probably play maybe a little bit more man coverage and make him throw into some tighter windows because he doesn't have the greatest arm I've ever seen. But he's a good quarterback. I mean, everywhere he's gone, he's won. I mean, you can say look up his stats and do other things, but he's a winner. So
it's a good point. And one of the things too, I mean, you being the quarterback, obviously on the show, that people a lot of times don't talk about his footwork. He's got really good feet in the pocket, right?
Yeah, he's very disciplined. He's got good footwork. He's twitchy. He's not like he's not going to run a 4.5, but he's twitchy and he makes quick movements in the pocket that just buy you that little bit of extra time to hit the guy in that window.
So is that natural talent, or is that coachable stuff?
Kind of both.
Yeah.
It's kind of a feel thing, but then also you can work on your footwork and other things like that and practice how to step up, how to move away in the pocket. So it's kind of both. You kind of have that it feeling, but also coaches can kind of work with you in that.
All right, we're going to add a couple people here within the huddle here in a segment,
yeah.
So don't you move. Stay right there.
Yes, Coach.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. We're in the huddle. We got Jared, Joey, Bob, Sam. I'm Rich. We're getting and breaking down this opener, and all of you chime in however you wish. I don't know about you guys, but I was going into this game, like I told my wife straight up, I am really nervous, like more nervous than I've been in a very, very long time. Because for me, it felt like the Super Bowl. It couldn't have been the Super Bowl. Obviously, we're in the same division. But with Rodgers going to a different team, we're in a different number, 9-11 in New York, divisional game. How are the Bills going to do against this team? And there were so many question marks going in. So, Bob, let's go with you first. What just going into the game, what were your thoughts?
I had the same thoughts. I was very nervous about the game. I fear the defense of the Jets. But after Rodgers went down, I felt, okay, this is a game we should take now. No, I didn't think Rodgers was going to be the difference. I always thought that the defense for the Jets was going to be the difference. But it turns out that Josh Allen ended up being the difference with his turnovers.
All right, Joey, you're new to the show. So let's ask you, Josh, your favorite phrase, hero ball, right? I'll ask you. He took it in the post-game press conference on him. He's like, that was on me. I lost the game. Are people overreacting because of his performance, taking into account what the game was, what that Jet defense was, and do you have confidence that he's going to reach?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. We all know this. We all have seen him play. I think it's just consistency for him right now. He has those big games, and then he has those slip-ups where he has, a few turnovers. So it's just easing the game down for him, getting better looks for him, getting the run game going because that'll help him out a whole lot. So I think it's just easing the game for him, and it'll become more consistent for him.
Yeah, Sam, let's go to you. How big was this loss, right? It's a divisional loss, and then you look at the other teams. but the Bills technically are at the bottom of the division after week 1. I mean, how big of a loss was this?
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like every year, the last 3 years, we get an opportunity to like take control of the 1 seed. Granted, it would have been after the first week, but Kansas City lost, the Bengals lost.
Yeah.
And so we're supposed to be the next head dog in the division, and we lose to Zach Wilson because we throw 4 turnovers. It's like you get a turnover, you get a turnover, you get a turnover. So it's very frustrating as a fan and an opportunity that we see, and kind of we just throw it away.
All right, Jared, pick out some good from this game.
It's really hard to pick out some good from this game, I'm not going to lie. But I will say the defense played pretty well besides a select number of people, maybe just Terrell Bernard. I feel like the rest of the defense was pretty good. Leonard Floyd is a bright spot. He had a couple sacks. Rousseau seemed to be setting the edge pretty well. I think the defense had a pretty good day overall. Maybe one big run, and besides that, they looked pretty good.
Yeah, I'm going to throw Dalton Kincaid in the mix. I mean, here is his first game ever as a pro. I thought he was very effective. I thought Knox, too. I was a little surprised that Knox was as involved in the offense as early as he was, and not Kincaid, and then it kind of flip-flopped as the game went on. I also like James Cook in this game. I thought James Cook was good when he had opportunities.
Surprised with Benford. Benford was covering his man and made a great comeback to catch Hall on that potential touchdown. And the speed, I didn't know he had that speed. He must have had a great angle, but I think that Benford played all 100% of the snaps. I don't think he gave up much in the passing game, and he made a great play to save a touchdown.
Saved 4 points.
Yeah.
You mentioned Christian Benford, Bob. It's time now to check your knowledge, folks. All right, 2-minute drill time. We do this every week. We've been doing this every year where we ask questions, trivia questions, based on the 2 teams the Bills are playing. Then we're going to get your picks for the game, Bills-Raiders, obviously at Highmark on Sunday. All right, we'll start with this one, guys. Throw it out there. Who is the former Bills and Raider quarterback that went on to win a Super Bowl as a head coach? AFL days, Bob.
I want to say Daryl LaMonica, but I don't think he coached.
Same era.
Yeah.
Might have been on the same team.
Oh, yeah, that's Flores.
That's right, Tom Flores. All right. 1 for 1. By the way, you guys are playing for a gift card to Boxy Steak Pit, just so you know. So hopefully you will complete the trifecta and get them all right. Question number 2. You mentioned Benford. Hall of Fame defensive end for the Raiders went to the same college as Christian Benford. Who would that be?
I can name the college.
What's the college?
Villanova.
Okay. Howie Long is right. Yeah. Now, granted, a million years ago, but still, I went to the same college as Christian Benford. Lastly, this one's really tough. Josh Jacobs, Damian Harris, both in the same backfield at Alabama with 2 other NFL starters. Who are they? I'll give you a hint because we're short on time. Steelers and Commanders.
Bijan.
That's right. Yeah, 3 for 3, guys. Way to go. Boxy's Steak Pit now. Let's get your score predictions for the game. We'll start this way. Sam, what do you think?
Raiders, Bills, I'll go 31-21 Buffalo.
All right, they're going to rebound. Bob.
27-20 for the Bills.
All right, Joey.
I think it's a big bounce back for Allen, 38-17.
38-17, okay, against Max Crosby and the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, we'll save our predictions for the next segment when we actually go down for a breakdown formally of the game. Guys, great job. Thanks for being here. More coming up next as we break down the Bills and the Raiders on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
I'm Princess Glitterhead. I was in pain my whole life with my teeth. I want to feel better. Like, what could I do? Like, I could actually go all the way and actually fix myself, be healthy, get rid of all the decay. So I made a free consultation appointment. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go get my teeth back. And I could see it helping so many people, including myself. It's gonna change your life. It really does. Wow. Oh my God.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. You can be you again. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
I don't know why I'm so emotional about it.
My self-esteem wasn't where it should have been because I was really, really self-conscious about my teeth. When I walked into Shatkin Dental, I was instantly ready for the residency program. I knew that that is what I needed. I needed the discount. I needed the dentist that was going to fix everything. My self-esteem is already getting much, much, much higher just from starting the procedures.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile for quality dental care you can afford.
All right, welcome back to the 4th and final segment of the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin. So Everybody in the huddle picked the Bills. We're going to find out what mine and Jared's prediction for this game will be. It's the Las Vegas Raiders coming in. It's Josh McDaniels coming in. I mean, look, I think once Wilson came in for Rodgers against the Jets, we're like, all right, game over. We win, right? There's no way the Bills treat this game that way, right?
No, there's no way we treat it that way. This is a week where Sean McDermott's yelling at them every day. Sean McDermott's going to harp on the penalties. He's going to harp on the turnovers. I think it is a get-right game for the team. And if it's not, then we have bigger issues than just week one.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about the Raiders' offense first and that matchup against the Bills' defense. It's Jimmy Garoppolo. Don't overlook him either, right? I mean, he's a guy that's had successes in the league. As much as people don't want to credit him for being any good, he's had some successes in the league.
I mean, he's a really good game manager.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not what you like to hear if you're an NFL quarterback nowadays, because everybody is making such incredible plays, but he is a good game manager, and he's got a lot of talent around him too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at Devontae Adams, who didn't have a big game in the opener against Denver, by the way, but Jacoby Myers did, and this is exactly what Vegas wanted from him coming over from the Patriots.
Yeah, he took some pressure off of Devontae Adams and made some big plays. Jacoby Myers had 2 touchdowns, I think, right? The fact that they have 2 receivers that are going to be kind of difficult to stop does make it a little bit of trouble for the Bills.
And Josh Jacobs was really held in check last week. I think he averaged just over 3 yards a carry against Denver, so he's going to be a little bit angry running against the Bills, you would suspect, in this game, and he's always dangerous.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal running back, probably top 5 in the league, maybe even top 3. And, you know, he's probably just getting into form. He was kind of held out all training camp, so, you know, hopefully this isn't the week he gets really in form.
And, oh, by the way, he's going to be playing for a contract this year, right? He's got the 1 year. They basically put the tag on him, basically, in Vegas. So he's playing for a contract this year, for sure, wherever he might end up.
Yeah.
Defensively, flip it over. Basically, it's the Max Crosby show and everybody else.
Yeah, I was just talking with you about it before. I'm like, I might need some help on some of these DBs. but you're right. But Max Crosby is probably one of the best defensive ends in the NFL. And the way Spencer Brown played last week, if they line him up against him, I'll be pretty worried.
He's definitely going to be a guy that they're going to have to key on all game long.
Yeah, and I think they actually had a pretty good pass rush against the Broncos too. So we're gonna have to watch out there.
All right. So you mentioned this is a get good game for the Bills. How good of a get good game is it? What's your score prediction?
I think we're gonna win big. I suspect us to win 34-10.
34-10, big win for the Bills. I'm gonna go Bills, getting back on track. 30-20. I think the Raiders score some points against the Bills, but I think the Bills are effective with the run game, with the pass game. I think Kincaid has a big game. I don't like necessarily the Raider linebacker crew in terms of coverage, so I think they could be exposed, certainly in the pass game. Advantage Bills there. Great job, as always. Great job, Sam and Joey and Bob from our huddle, and also to our fabulous crew as well. All right. Also, thank you, Dr. Todd Shatkin, Aesthetic Associates, and Shatkin Dental as well. We'll be back next week to talk about the Commanders. For now, go Bills out at Highmark against the Raiders. Let's get a big W and start turning things around. This has been the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show.
If you would like to be a participant in the Shatkin First Down Huddle, email Mark Aarons at maarons@shatkinfirst.com. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.